just going to fold here. Sometimes I'll raise it for fun. We're all pretty deep. And I'm going to limp stab with my A10 there. Going to shove Ace-3 suited here. It's going to be marginal, but I think I can show a profit. And a flop second pair, pretty strong. So just bet small. And I don't think I can shove too wide here because of Terra Vent on the button with not even 2 big blinds. Just going to check now. I think I usually have the best hand still, but I don't want to build a large pot with second pair out of position. And going to shove Jack-10 suited here. You can definitely check too, but I think the dynamic of that with him and I think says that I can shove pretty wide in that spot. Now here, the blinds are going to eat through almost half my stack, so it's horrible. King 5 off is not a good hand at all, but I think I kind of have to go with it there. I don't like it at all. And just shoving A7 off because I'm going to call here. Okay, unlucky. Reason I called was because the hearts missed, and he can have other straight draws too that also missed. May not have been that great. And happy to shove my ace-jack off here. I should be well ahead of pro 121 this time, and Terra Vent, and some fold equity too, so got his dead money in there. So we're down to 16 tables right now, and it hasn't been going so hot, but the way it goes, you can just run off a few firsts towards the end of the session, and you go from having a pretty bad set to a pretty good one. 1860, no antes. I'm going to still shove. With antes, I'm shoving a lot wider. If you guys fiddle around and sit and go whiz in fairly deep stacked button shoving spots at T200 and T200 ante, you'll find there's a pretty big difference. I'm going to stab here with my open ender. And think about playing this hand, but just look at the stacks behind, and it doesn't really work out so hot for me. Happy to get it in here. Briseis is about similar stack to me. It's going to be really hard pressed to find him a range that's too tight for me to get it in. Unlucky that he had ace queen, but oh well. This is a shove you can make against some players. 7-2 off for 12 big blinds. Folding is safe though. Having a little bit more information before you shove is probably a good idea. Sevens, I will shove a lot. They're just kind of on the cusp of opening hands for value. Guys are still spazzy enough that they'll do goofy stuff. Should be fine here. He's had pretty aggressive stats. So we're racing. Now king 8 off for 13 BBs. I probably shove against everybody with antes in. And gonna get it in with 10-9 here. A lot happier to get it in with 10-9 than I am to hit the blinds. And shoving 6-9 here. He's gonna... There's just a lot of randoms out today. I'm really surprised. Normally I see more players that I know. I just shoved queen 10 there for about 13 big blinds. Sorry, that was closer to 15. But the problem with queen 10 suited is that I'd need to know that villain was shoving 3-bet shoving on me extremely wide before I raise for value. And shoving that is going to show a profit against everybody. So I'd rather just shove it than 3-bet fold. And just going to fold 5-4 off. Again, it can show a profit against some range, but to be safe and kind of give myself a little bit of image help. And it's just a total garbage hand too. Best hand. Shocking. And I'll min raise here so I can fold the black stang's shove. I would get this in with queen 10 suited against a player under the gun who I knew was competent, but randoms aren't going to know to shove like total garbage hands in that position. So I think he's got good hands too often there. I would call this spot quite often, but he hasn't been raising me too much, and he's got pretty relatively wimpy stats. That's a nitty fold, I think, to fold king queen there. I think that's a spot that I would shove when I'm frustrated or tilted or something like that. And just waiting for a hand, hoping that I get something under the gun. Otherwise, I just have to settle for what I get blinded in with. Quinn Chan is opening button 19%, so he's playing really tight. That's filtered 2 to 3 handed. So he's quite a nitty guy. So if I get heads up with him, I'm going to really abuse him and respect his raises as well. Maybe not abuse him so much. His VPIP is kind of high. Jay Weezy going to be shoving a little bit too much. 7-5 off is, I think, kind of marginal against me, but it's close. I'm not often going to... Well, it's not marginal when it wins, but it's hard to say if that's the rock bottom of his range. I mean, there's a good chance if he's shoving 7-5 off on me that he's shoving worse hands as well. So shoving Jack 2 off here. I'm going to shove any 2 with these stack sizes. And finally I get a chance to reshove on Black Stang. I expect him to fold here a ton. I think min raises blind versus blind, especially a guy who's been doing it a lot, are really weak. And I can't call here. Too bad. Still think it was an okay spot to stab on. And somehow I managed to win blind versus blind here with my trash hand. So I've got Terravent out chipped, and I can just kind of fold my way, hopefully, to the money. Could almost shove and show profit here. If I had any flush draw, any 5, even 6-7, I probably would shove, but 8-6 is just not good enough. And I'm just going to fold 2s. It's kind of nitty and weird, but the big blind can call me with a ton of hands, and I'm completely gifting the other 2 short stacks by shoving that. I think raising here is going to be a better option than going through the blinds, even though it's a total garbage hand. I mean, I'm at least live some of the time. Pretty happy to get it into the ace queen here. I would almost shove here if Demon had not so many chips and Tua Cowwill had a bit more. Shoving any 2 here at T800. And as a short stack against the limp, sorry, so much going on at once. Calling King 6 off here against everybody heads up. He has 3-4, so I'm going to take note of that quickly. Too bad, so sad for me. So we've got 11 tables left now. King 10 off is a bit close. I think I'll shove, but it's near the bottom of my range. I think Quinn Chan is going to kind of call a little bit looser than he should. So that's why I don't like shoving there a whole lot. And finally I can get it in against him and hopefully bust him. And I'm going to shove queen 2. I won't shove any 2 in this spot against him right now. I'm going to shove a7 off here though. I know it's super deep, it's about 14 big blinds. Queen 2 suited I might shove against some guys. This game I just don't feel like it. And I'm going to raise 7s. Hopefully I can get him to reshove on me wider. In this spot I think he's limping pretty weak. I would shove really wide on him. If he limped again and it happened, then I would shove a lot tighter. The fact that he's taking a lot of time is strange. I don't really know what to make of that. I think he must be limping kind of decent hands that he should be raising. I'm going to stick it in here. Calling kind of leaves too much in my stack behind. If I call, I have a pot size bet left. Or just over a pot size bet, sorry. And I think I'm good. I'd be happy just to take down that pot right now. And gonna just shove my queen 10 suited. I know it's deep, but I'm gonna show profit. This is a spot where sometimes I'll actually 3-bet shove really weak hands like this, but against this guy I don't have enough information. But there are a lot of players who really tend to abuse their cutoffs, buttons, and small blinds. And against those guys I really like to abuse back by 3-betting really wide. Here's a good spot. I think your average player doesn't call wide enough. So not shoving any 2 here I think is going to often be a mistake. In this spot I think it's fine to fold any 2, especially 3-2 off. And 5s. He's pretty tight. So I think I can fold happily. Now I'm going to complete because I know he's not very aggressive post flop. Queen 3 off, I'm going to jam. This really stinks, but I think I have to call. So he jams on me when I said he's been really quiet. Maybe shove? It's close. I folded, but that's I think a little bit tight. This is a little bit of a tight fold here as well. Now I think I'm going to fold this time. I think if he had junk on the flop like he had last time, he probably wouldn't follow it up with a strong bet on the turn. So I'm going to make a tight fold. And stab out on that flop. That's a good flop to stab on. And he flats me, so I don't expect him to fold on the turn what he called with on the flop, especially when the turn is just a total brick. Tempting to shove here since I'm the shortest stack, but my hand's a little bit too weak. And I'm just close enough to Jay Weezy that it's a little bit reckless to get it in with that weak of a hand. And I think I can just shove this, but again it's pretty marginal. Jack 7 suited, I'd probably jam here, but Jack 7 off, I'm just folding. And shoving any 2 again here. Definitely shoving 10-5 suited. I'm going to shove most of my hands against Quan. 6K. Or Quan Chan, sorry.